Let's go live, everyone. Ooh. What's up, everybody? We're getting the show started in just a few minutes. How we all doing? So, got a new studio, and I'm gonna be chilling, sharing my stuff. We got a show, okay, everybody. So just follow along, enjoy it. All right, it's gonna be about an hour long. If you miss anything, head over to my YouTube, and you can always get access to that. I've got two screens, so I'm gonna be looking over here sometimes for chat. I'm gonna be but I'm streaming on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And let's go, right? Wild. Hopefully my face is not too delayed. I'm a little worried that there's some delay. So just let me know if there is. But show's about to start, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about a few things. So yeah, I'm going to try to do kind of like a model to this show where basically I start with a little design news just to get us going, get us vibing. I'm going to do a portfolio review. So if you want your portfolio reviewed live, hit me with your portfolio link in DMs wherever you are, and I'll be doing some reviews. But today we're going to be reviewing Melanie Lane's portfolio. If you're here, I hope you're here, Melanie. I really hope you're here. But it should be really good. After that, I'm going to do just like a product hunt roundup. I don't know if that's going to like pan out, but that's just a segment that I want to start doing because got a few like interesting things that all actually would work pretty solidly, in my opinion, for something like where you're applying jobs and stuff like that. So pretty cool stuff there. And then we'll just wrap it up with a little chill chat. So are you ready? I'm ready. I hope we're ready. Let's go. Okay, everybody. I'm just vibing today, and so let's just kick this shit off because today we're starting some designer news. Oh, jeez. Okay. Starting some designer news off with, and actually, so I subscribe to this newsletter called TLDR. They have like a bunch of different stuff on the TLDR, but one of them is TLDR Design. And honestly, there's some pretty interesting articles in there. So one that I wanted to talk about today was like really fucking cool is how can typography save the environment, right? Like, so interesting thing. But basically, HarperCollins, the big publisher out there in the world of publishing, they've been like kind of like refining and trying to design the perfect font, find the perfect font for in order to like lower the amount of pages that are getting printed over on each book. And so really interesting thing that, so they used to use Bimbo or Bimbo, I don't know, Bimbo, let's call it Bimbo. Bimbo just sounds a little wonky to me, I don't know, but either way, pretty interesting that they were talking about like the Bible and how they tried to like fiddle with because it's such a big book that they went from 2,500 pages and actually lowered it by more than 350 pages per print, just switching fonts, right? Which is such an interesting thing where, Garamond Pro looks very similar to Bimbo, but it allows for a bit more spacing while still being really legible. So I think that's a super interesting thing that I just wanted to call out. And fun little design news thing. So just heard a comment that the sound is a little bad. I know that it kind of sounds bad to some people sometimes, but it feels like it's a little bit random. So just let me know in the comments if I'm sounding okay to you. I don't know. So let's go. I'm just gonna keep going. But anyways, any questions that you want to hit on chat, we can chat through whatever you guys want to talk about. Just want to take a minute to catch up. How's the audio? This is my like first time doing like the actual show, so let me know how we at. How we looking? Everybody feeling good? What do we think? Let me know. It's like a little bit delayed, so sounds good. Okay. What's up, Faye? How you doing, Faye? Yo, so this is the first first live show that I'm doing, by the way, everybody. So I got a new studio in the back. Basically, yeah, I got a video coming. I'm about to post it. I think that this is like what I want to do every day is just go live, talk to you all, do a little show for you, talk about, news, talk about portfolio reviews and everything like that. So I'm going to be kicking that first one off in just a minute. But over on TikTok side, got a question from Reynold that how do you stand out among the other designers when you're a fresh grad and applying? And honestly, like that's such a hard question because standing out in design in the design world is difficult. Like that's the first thing to understand is that there are so many people posting and going posting on publicly, applying to the jobs that you're applying. They've all got just as much work as you do or not. And so really like my biggest thing, and I'm going to be like kind of diving into that when I like look at this first portfolio. I haven't looked at it at all yet, but one thing that I think is like such a big deal for designers is having like a thesis that you want to share with the person reviewing your portfolio. And so that thesis comes from, just experience, but in general, like your outlook on the world, right? So for me, I'm a big time startup designer is like my whole thing. I've never worked at a larger company than like more than 20 people. So super small startups, but honestly, like that's what I like about the design world is being able to like design something and see it come to life really quickly. And so that's a big one for me. And because of that, I actually put that in my I look at it like a little bit of like my thesis as a designer, where I'm a designer who thinks like a business owner. That's like my whole bit. And because of that, you can kind of understand where that's going to come, where that's going to affect my designs, right? I'm going to be thinking about the business and as it relates to the design, but also like how do you function as a designer without having really good collaboration with development and everything like that. And so it puts me in this point where I stand out to, or I might not stand out, but they at least will remember me for having this one thing, right? Which is, and so they're not going to remember Nolan Perkins. Oh yeah, that was a really good resume. It's going to be, oh, that one dude who does a lot of startups. That's my bit, right? So you want to have kind of leave that impression when you're like walking through your portfolio on both your homepage and also like all of the internal pages of like your case studies and everything like that. It's such an important thing that I don't think we talk about enough as design educators, that like you need to have that message all the way through, like shared like constantly, and it should be coming out in your case studies as well. And so that's just one really good way to like really try to approach like something, whether it's, a startup designer who thinks like a business owner, or, I've gone through this kind of adversity and this has like affected my life in these ways. And because of that, this is how I approach design, right? Like, or why I design, why I like design. And so like all that stuff is such an important part of like, how you're going to fit into teams, but it's also just like how you're going to go about your process, because like everybody's individual viewpoints is such an important standout. Then that's the things that you're really trying to do is like stand out in the design world. How'd you make this layout, right? Pretty dope layout, right? I hope you're enjoying it, because I've been like fiddling with some overlays and stuff like that, and so I'm streaming from my computer, and it's looking pretty cool. I just realized that I did not switch over the titles though, so first show, getting used to it, okay? And I'm streaming from 2 platforms at once, so don't judge me, please, okay? So we just did the design news, and I just talked about it a little bit. But let's just keep going. Let's keep vibing. How do you deal with being asked to do things that are against ethical standards? Yeah, that's such a good question. Over on TikTok, Philip Buster brought that to me, and I think like really the like ethical concerns around design are such an important like thing that depends on the clients you take, depends on like the places you work at, but also too like it inside of the places that you work at can make those ethical decisions and ethical dilemmas, right? And for me, I think that you've got to like decide where you're at. Like, are you willing to quit over this thing, right? That's kind of like the beginning of that framework on that. Where are you willing to like go out in the job market again, or fire the client that you're working with just because they're trying to ask you to do certain things that you don't believe in. And I mean, that's pretty much the beginning and the end of the framework there is, are you willing to do that? Yes. If it's not worth doing that, then, like try to like put a pen in it and suck it up and do it, and then go back to it later, where, constantly be bringing it up saying, hey, we need to change these things. And so, yeah, that's that's about as good as I can get. I've never like really been asked too much to do things that I've like not ethically agreed with, but also that's because I've worked on teams and the people that I chose to work with are the kind of people who don't ask you to do that sort of stuff. And so that's also like a big part of it too, is trying to find the jobs that you want to take on, right? So yeah. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to keep this vibes going. I'm going to talk about. I'm going to do a portfolio review, everybody. Okay, are we ready for our first portfolio review? I think we should do it. So, yes or not yesterday? Was it yesterday? I don't know. The days have been blending all into one. So, but I am going to be sharing, like walking through Melanie's portfolio. So, Melanie, you're in the hot seat if you're here. Hope you are. But yeah, so. Yeah, just really excited to do this. If you want me to review your portfolio live, shoot me a DM wherever you are, and we will go through it live. Because what's up, Melanie? She's over on TikTok. Everybody, you got this. Let's go. So yeah. By the way, this is my first time looking at this. So yeah. I'm going to try to be as nice as I can while still bringing some good insights, hopefully. So, what's up, Melanie? Nice intro. I think that's like a really good, good like kickoff point. By the way, it looks a little wonky on here simply because my like screen's really tight. But yeah, maybe play with this one breakpoint here. It's not that big of a deal, but like the only thing that I would say on like responsive issues like that is, you're being judged in so many areas at all times on all of this stuff. And where like, if I loaded your site up like this, I would be like, what's that? Why is that weird? Right? Like this, right? And again, it's not a huge deal. Like, I'm being picky as hell right now. However, like, I've gone and reviewed like 100 portfolios in a day once, right? And when I'm doing that, it's a gut check decision to say this, one strike, two strike, three strike, whatever, And so just, one little thing, sort out the responsive stuff. Bridging the gap between business and users with consumer-focused design, insightful research, and skilled project management. That's pretty good. I think that's like a pretty solid thesis. I think like consumer-focused design is such a it's like almost like a buzzword. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not a negative, but if you could find a way to say like say that in a different way that's unique could help you a little bit. But again, I'm splitting hairs at this point. Okay. All right, rocking the redesign, crafting a digital gym. I like the scroll through like this. It allows me to kind of like really peek through these easily to be able to know if I want to dive into that project or not. For me, and this is like a thing about like that I've been like kind of like under the radar talking about to some of the people who I've been working with is I think that people have to have multiple portfolios if they can, right? Like you've got some pretty good, like a good amount of work in here. You've got 2 apps and 3 websites. Consider, you don't have to do this, but consider making a, MelanieUXD.com / web or / product. So that way when you're applying to jobs that are like kind of like in the web design world or might need some web design, you could do that. Then you could do a / product where, for me, when I was hiring designers, I was looking for apps, right? And so this looks like it might be a dashboard, but it's definitely a website. Actually, never mind. Again, this looks like it's got a pretty much product only. or sorry, web only. And then this one, let's see. Website design. Okay, cool. So yeah, so maybe I would say then cut this one from the portfolio that is like product, right? And so that way, like it's one of those things where okay, cool. It's nice to see that you got apps, but this also feels a little bit older than the stuff that you've done over here. And so you don't want to pull like down the quality from like stuff that you did previously. And instead, like if you are gonna leave this in here, I would say like freshen it up a little bit based on the stuff that you got up here, because this is feeling a bit more airy and spacey and you know, just like in general like better spacing tactics. And yeah, like I could see some cards here. And again, these are just pure from the homepage, so we'll see when we get into one of these case studies. But yeah, like from here, this just looks a little bit older in your timeline of design. I could be wrong though, so hopefully I'm not. But all right, let's keep it going. I'm just going to jump into this case study here. Nice. Okay, you got your role. That's good. That's really good. Timeline 3 months. Cool. Okay. I think that's fine. I love to see this kind of thing where it's a quick summary of like the challenge, where like why are we doing this thing, right? And it starts with this, right? I was brought into the team and tasked with revitalizing online store, addressing its outdated design and user frustrations. That's cool. Okay. The goal to create a new user-friendly website. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is really solid intro. So, great job, Melanie. Yeah. Boom. Okay. By the way, hey everybody who's coming in. What's going on? What's going on, Ilgar? What's going on? Who doesn't like to travel? Appreciate you calling me cool. You're cool too. But by the way, if you ever are going to leave this stream, you can always watch the replay over on my YouTube channel. Check that out as well. But yeah, okay, let's keep going. So what's the problem? Nice. Okay. Current websites. I honestly I like this. I like the text that you've got here. I would say try to find a way to cut this and then like make these even smaller or shorter, right? So it's like bullet, where it's like, can we say they were at risk of losing competitiveness? The interface lacks modern features. Boom. I think you don't even need to do this hindering its appeal, because like all that stuff is kind of like implied, right? So how can we get each of these bullets to 2 lines or less, right? Because again, if I'm looking at you, if I'm this deep at this point, I'm gonna go look at probably 10 other portfolios right after this or before this, right? And so like make it so that I can just like boom, 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 right? And so here though, if I saw this, I probably wouldn't read any of that, because I'm moving fast, right? And so I'm just gonna like assume that I didn't read that. Update the website design to reflect contemporary design. Okay. Yeah, and this is okay. I would say again, like probably not needed to like this whole section really is probably not needed. I think that cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good thing. Again, like a little bit too much text, right? I know that you want to show your strategy, and you should definitely keep showing your strategy. However, let's how can we make these bigger, right? Because I think that's good. Like these should be the huge thing, right? Single ease question. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. And so I would say these should not be the bold side. This should be the bold side. 10% increase, boom, and then that's it. maybe 10% increase in the SUS, right? I don't know. But again, it's kind of like, what is a usability scale? Did you make it? Or what is that scale that you're following? And so I'm going to start kind of derailing and be like, actually, it's not even worth thinking about. I'm moving on. And so again, yeah, just another little point. Now, is this another responsive issue? Okay, yeah. It seems like this is a little bit better when it's wide like that. I think that you've got that room there when it's big screen. But when you're in this tablet kind of size, is where it's getting a little bit tight. So I would say fiddle with this image or this spacing. Well, actually, yeah, it's even cutting in right here as well. So just bump that down a little bit. Again, it's one of those things where it's dang, those details, those attention to details things, where it's one of those it's one of those things that are like picky as hell. You might not get docked for it, but again, like you're trying to make sure that there is no ability to dock you. So, yeah, time to dive in. Curious to learn how I arrived in these impactful solutions. Cool. That's cool. In general, I love these two sections. I love that you started with the problem. I love that you dove into what the results were. I would say though, this is like, let's see, and this is probably a tall viewport, but this is 1, 2, 2.5, or almost 3, because you could consider this as like that part of that section as well. So you've got 3 viewport heights of buildup, right? And I would say, how can you make that 1.5, right? I think that's the aim that you should go for. And yeah, and because again, just make these visualizations. That's dope. You don't need to put this much text in. I think you could also bullet point these, or maybe make it a grid. Boom, boom, boom. And then there is a UX portfolio. There's a platform for this. I think it's UX Folio. Yes. So the portfolios that I see with these are really great because they've got a really good template that they always go by. So let me see. Hold on. View live site. Inside the case studies, I mean. This thing, they somehow they set up this slider or this as a slider, so you can actually show even more than this, wider than this, which is awesome. And so I would say you could blend that kind of layout with this and with this, right? And this too. Awesome. I'd love to see the end results. Show me those as soon as you can. But you could also show it in a list. Boom, boom, boom. Slideshow. That way, that cuts out a lot of scroll need. And then you trim down this content a little bit to do a few the grid level. This is a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem. Slider of all of the designs. And then this is a solution. This is a solution. This is a solution. Or this is the change, right? So problem, design, change, right? That's such a killer, viewport height or 1.5 viewport height, a scroll. And if you can sum all that up like that, boom, that'd be awesome. And I'm right away, because also too, this is a design in a design, right? The case studies are so I'm kind of judging your design that you're doing. But I'm also judging the way that you present your information, because that's going to have an effect on the way that you do design, but also it's going to have an effect on the way you present your work inside a product team or any kind of client work that you're sharing as well. And so I know that I'm getting super in the weeds on this, but it's such an important part that makes it where wow, okay, Melanie can think about can understand how to present information. And again, it's just all those little ticks in the box that you can do will kind of spill over to a point at a certain point where it's yo, this person's solid, Okay, cool. How we doing, everybody? Are we vibing? Are we vibing? I'm just taking a little break to clear my head and think about some thoughts. And yeah, I'm glad you're nodding your head, Melanie. By the way, Melanie's over on the TikTok side. But if you always want to share, or if you want me to review your portfolio over the next few days or weeks, shoot me a DM on any platform that you're watching from, and we can do it. So, okay, here are the methods I used for diving into redesign, stakeholder interview. Okay. Yeah, again, I think how can we bullet point these, right? Me as a hiring manager, I just went and looked at a whole bunch of people who said that they mapped out a persona, made a heuristic analysis, did user testing, all of that, right? So how can we, again, make this almost like a timeline view rather than I did this and this is the description of that thing. I get what that is. And I would assume that you would do stuff like this, right? Gather the data from the stakeholder personas, blah, blah, blah. And so and maybe I'm kind of I'm a little bit different. I'm a bit of a startup hirer and a agency hirer, right? Like when I hired recently, it was all about like helping me with client work, which Sun and Han over at TikTok, she's my designer that I'm working with now, and Nicole, what's up? And but also too, like, again, like I could probably go to any portfolio and see like this list, right? So again, like we were talking earlier, how to stand out. Like, don't do this, right? When everybody's zigging, zag, right? And so like, how can you make this fun to look at, right? Like every time I see this in a portfolio, this is what I do. Boom. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm not going to read that. And also, too, like, I get what you're trying to say. So how can you make it where, like, oh, this is like a cool visualization of that. Go for that, right? Who are the users? This is cool. This is cool. I don't think that that you should have this many personas. Amber and Sandy, Mason, and Crystal. Like, how can you, for me, and again, I'm like a little bit more of a like I'm not like a textbook designer, right? And because of that, when I'm hiring, I'm not looking for like textbook process or whatever. But like one thing that I feel pretty strongly about is personas are kind of BS. Like because like, yeah, like, okay, we got Mason, right? But how is Mason different from Crystal, right? And like there's very small nuanced things. And also too, when I'm trying to like go to this site, the Craft of the Digital Gym, like I would roughly understand the kind of people who are coming in. If you're gonna show me this, just make sure that like that you do enough to say, okay, yeah, that makes sense that they got like that they shared that information, right? And so I think too, again, like maybe show these two, cut all this stuff down here though. And I, one like stuff like this, I think is actually really nice to have in your case study. But one thing that I'll say about it is I can't remember the portfolios that I've seen it on, but I've seen it almost like another visualization vibe where it's like almost like a comment or like a iMessage or whatever, where it's like, how can we ensure that Sandy can easily search and navigate? How can we establish, like they're kind of like overlaid on top of each other. Like I can't tell you how nice that is because it's your presentation of information, right? I understand that that you are presenting me a thought or a question or a concern, right? And you do that through a simple visualization, right? Like if you can accomplish that without like doing this, right? Like, I mean, you kind of did, right? With this like thought bubble, but how can you take it even a step further to be like, this is almost like this is a thing that I got from an interview directly, right? And it's like a quote, but you don't just like list the quote. You put it in a visualization that makes me understand that it's a quote right away, right? Again, like, dude, I'm getting so in the weeds, so I hope you guys are all getting something out of this, and I'm not just like super in the weeds, but okay. Let's see how the homepage measures up. This is cool. I like this a lot. I would say like, can you make me hover and show this stuff? But that would be like a bit too technical. You probably don't need to do that. And so like Wix Studio has this thing, and like a bunch of other platforms do too, where you kind of like scroll and it like locks in, and then you keep scrolling and things change. Could we do that here somehow? Where it's like you scroll and you see, reduce links in navigation bar, and it highlights that. Scroll and it's like just like basically swaps to the next slide, which it doesn't have all of the things circled. It just has one by one, right? Because I've seen somebody do this type of thing in a really nice visualization. They didn't do it in the scroll, but they also didn't have as many points as this, like 14 points. I think that's cool that you have 14 points. But like, yeah, let me read some of them. Sorry. Yeah. Great cares. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, in general, like this is awesome information, right? And awesome insight that you did. So like, I think some of this is like, how can we visualize this better? Is the only thing that I would have problems with on that section. But oh, look at this. Look at this. Okay, so you fucking did it. You fucking did it, Melody. So put this up here, right? All the way up here. Like, you know what I mean? I think that could be so cool. Because like right away, this is exactly what I was talking about. Is I get that these like I don't even need to see what do people think. I know that these are quotes from people. Like I don't even see quotes here. I just know that these are quotes. Right? Boom. So cool. I think this is awesome. I love this little animation here too. Just bring this up higher if you can. Okay, cool. People are asking, how do I submit the site to be reviewed? Just DM me, all right? DM me if you want me to check your portfolio like this. I'll be doing it over time. Yeah, again, like, look at this. You already showed this visualization, but I think that this is better than what you had up top. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think this section, put it back up top. Drop it here, put it up top. Boom. Cool. I'm just going to continue scrolling because I'm spending lots of time on this. But I like seeing like this as notes too. I think that's great. I've seen a lot of shots like this, which is okay. But just like something to consider. Again, like zigzag thing. Like, I think that's one thing that I'll say is try to find other... Everybody's sitting here, right? I got 40 people on TikTok, got 30 over on Instagram. I don't know how many on YouTube, probably like 2. but I think like one thing that I want to present to you guys is go look at other people's portfolios that are getting hired at the junior level. There's a bunch of roundups of that out there, and you'll be able to see like how they're visualizing this stuff. But also too, you'll be able to see like, oh shit, I have that exact section. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You got to make that decision for yourself. For me, I think like stuff like this is probably one of those that are like, yeah, like what does this do for me as a hiring manager? How does this help me say Melanie's killing it, right? It's okay, and it's good to see that you've done that workshop like vibe on there. And so again, like I'm not even saying don't do this, but I'm just saying like consider it, and like try to be like try to make like your visualization even better. So maybe don't do a screenshot of this, but like redesign this in a new visualization vibe, right? And again, like I know, like everything that I'm saying is probably hours and hours and hours of extra work. But but also too, I'll say like these little things add up so much to help you stand out. So do with all of these things what you will. The initial research complete. What's next? Okay. How can we make navigation better? Cool. Okay, really quick, I just want to call out that we are on this, you can't really see it, so I'm going to drag this over. I'm going to keep dragging it over. Okay, there you go. Finally got here. So I'm only halfway through on this case study. Like, I don't want to give bad advice. Like, I know that some people like to see long case studies and strategic thoughts and all that, right? Like, and you've shown that already, right? But damn, like at this point, I would hope to be more down here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I'm just gonna start going really fast now. Oh, sick! Look at this. You got some sliders already. Put these up higher. Put these up higher. Yeah, just like try to put yourself in a hiring manager's point of view. Like they are, if they're giving everybody their due, which means that you're going to get your shit looked at, right? Like if you're going to get your shit looked at all, I would say like also understand that you are going to be getting reviewed amongst at least 50 other portfolios today. And so if I'm as a hiring manager, I'm doing a bunch of other shit, right? I'm following up on emails. Like if all I'm doing is hiring, I still am busy, right? But also if I'm like a small team and I'm a designer who's like hiring, I'm probably like managing a bunch of other projects right now. And so so I don't want to sit here and spend a half hour reading your case study. I want to be able to go prum, 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 prum. Yo, Melanie's crushing it, right? Like and so like I don't know how to do that in the best way. But what I would say is like I think all of this is awesome, right? This is great. Being able to see this is awesome. This is great. Also, like your use of spacing in the general like layouts are better in these sections as well. I think you could cut a lot of this text down a bit, maybe make like bullet point them somehow. But two, like, probably don't need, like, rebranding is good, but I mean, this is good. This is good too. I'd rather see this stuff over the branding stuff, right? Because the branding comes out, and again, like, you know, I'm indifferent to branding because I think branding is cool, but also too, like, are you really going to be doing branding on my team? I don't know. Like, if I'm an agency, I've probably already got somebody who's leading branding. If I'm a product team, you're never going to do branding, right? And so because of that, it's kind of like one of those things like, you know, consider that too, where when you're trying to cut things out, is consider like, consider how can I like streamline the shit out of this, right? And so again, I said this already on the homepage, where maybe do a /web and /product, and then cut your case studies out depending on the team that you're going for, right? Because like that could really help the type of hiring manager like to look at your stuff where they're looking for specific beats. Like, hit them as fast as you can instead of just like showing as much stuff to be able to be like, look, I'm smart. And again, like, you are smart. I can tell that you're doing pretty good on here. Like, the end result designs are pretty good. I would say, as far as like actual design goes, like, I don't like to see slides this far apart. I think that they should be closer together. I would say like max gap between slides should be about 20 pixels, unless you got really big cards, airy stuff. Which is not the case right here. So I would say tighten those up a little bit. Here too, right? This grid right here. I'm gonna try zooming in so that the peanut gallery can see better. Yeah, there you go. Okay, this might help a bit. Okay, cool. Yeah, tighten that up, right? Like, tighten this up, tighten this gap up too, because again, like information architecture zoom in vibes. Yo, somebody sent some roses. Thank you from a sloth. Appreciate you. If anybody wants to give me some gifts, I love it. I'm not too proud to shake it for some pennies, because that's basically what comes out to it. But I just appreciate you all for being here. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you you're getting some out of this. But anyway, so if okay, so I'm talking not about your case study. I'm talking about your actual design here. But like, so everything has zoom levels, right? This section has a zoom level where I'm like, as a visitor, I'm like, nah. Is latest editions interesting? Nah. Is featured locations interesting? Nah. Who are we? Nah. Check our blog. If I'm interested in the blog, like, I need to understand that these things are connected to that blog, right? You've got this button down here, that's view all blog entries. You got this right here. But like, honestly, the spacing between this, like the vertical spacing here, is smaller than the horizontal spacing right here, which means that, or which makes it like a little bit difficult for me to say, are these cards at all connected to checkout or blog? I don't know. Obviously they are, right? But again, like, scanning, like scannability should be the primary focus on all the designs that you're doing, and that means like, if your gap is small, is this much here, make it even tighter on this right here. Because what that's going to do is it's going to vertically scan. Now that I'm looking at the blogs, I want to make sure that these two, like, which of these two blogs do I want to go look at? Make it really easy for me to know that they're connected, like, grouped wise, just using spacing. And that's like so easy to do with just spacing. But in general, like, overall, like, this is pretty nice design. I would say, like, this featured location, bump it over to the left a little bit as well. This man is dropping gems for free. But also, too, we're talking about a gem design right now. Like, what? That's super meta. Your boy is dropping gems, design gems, while talking about gems and reviewing this case study that's about gems as well. So just feeling really good. Again, too, like, sections and spacing vibes. Even though this is a landscape image right here, like, when you've got content that is taller than this section right here, that's a problem, right? So you need to make that box bigger or the same height as the content that's over here. I would also say try to get the view details like next to the add to cart. I would also, like, again, also say, like, view details should be way more secondary than add to cart, right? Add to cart should be always the biggest focus. And so view details, that's kind of like the quick view. So this should be like almost an icon in the corner, right? Like a view more details, right? Add to cart should be the only button that I'm thinking about when I'm looking at view details or at the quick view. So yeah, again, look at this. This spacing looks tighter than the stuff that you got on your homepage, right? So, which is good, right? I would say go closer to this grouping because look at that. That vertical margin right here is about the same, maybe smaller than this, but it's pretty close, which is good. When you said move the location to the left, more that's what you're thinking the shift. Yeah, I would say like just move this whole block of text to the left, right? There's all this spacing over here, and there's not that spacing over here, and maybe that's because the image is a square, right? Or maybe it's landscape with some empty space on the sides. But if that's the case, then you should be trying to know you should be designing with that in mind, where if most images are going to have some space on the side, then give extra space to the right on this content block, right? Which will automatically move the featured locations to the left, making this section feel more centered, You're being helpful not only for portfolio review, but UX conversation in English for non-speakers. Boom! Yeah, yep. Appreciate you, Alex. Yo, giving some love over there. I just want to say that TikTok's live management stuff is amazing. Instagram's is meh, pretty meh. And so I just want to apologize to anybody hitting me in comments over on Instagram side, because every time somebody joins, it fucking floods the chat, and I don't even know when somebody said something. So I just want to apologize if I'm missing over there. I'm gonna get better at this streaming shit. Don't worry, okay? We're coming around. This is the first live real. This is the first real live. So yeah. And from a sloth, send me another heart, bro, or non-bro, whatever you are. Appreciate you so much. And yeah, okay. Yeah, great. Honestly, this is a pretty solid grid. I think this gap right here is awkward. I would say if there's a gap between anything, there should be a gap above the button right here, right? Because let me try zooming in again. Yes. Okay. Sick. So look, you were giving some space and and therefore some emphasis to the names, which is okay, right? But what we're trying to get them to do is we're trying to get them to click this button, right? And so we need to give space and emphasis to the button and to the quick shop. And so because of that, I think this whole block of text should just be slid up just really quick up to the top to make a box right here. Give this some air on the quick shop. And again, just allow the people to be like, what is this thing down here? Let me click it, right? But because of that, I'm like, what is this thing down here? Oh, it's 125 Canadian dollars. No. What is this thing down here? Quick shop. That should be the thing, right? FAQ is cool. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, okay, I'm not going to keep being a dead horse. Overall, pretty solid. It's really just that spacing stuff that really kills it. In a good way, where that's how whenever I see somebody doing spacing like that, I was talking about that homepage stuff earlier with the way that the vertical spacing compares to the horizontal stuff. Whenever I see somebody who nails spacing like that, or not like this, but tightening up like that, I understand or I see that they have an inherent feel for spacing, which is such an important part of design and information architecture and making everything really usable. And so, yeah, boom. Okay. Yeah, Melanie, I hope I gave you some clear vibes to go after. In general, I think as much visualization as you can, as much speed in terms of edit this down to half the amount of content. And because some of these this is a nice end, right? And also, oh cool, you even talked about a second issue. Oh, that's super dope. Yeah. That's awesome. Honestly, seeing the redesign and then seeing that it got improved again, that is such an important thing that if you can show that much faster, you will instantly be moved up in quality on the list for everybody reviewing your portfolio, because again, it's this person not only shipped something, they saw it through, right? And so like, yeah, honestly, I think that's really cool. Like, lean into that somehow get this up higher, right? But first you gotta like lay it all out. I get it. So yeah. Anyways, okay, cool. Yeah, just looking at all this final stuff. All right. Oh, sweet. Melanie, hope you got some vibes out of that. I got some vibes out of it, so I'm switching over to the me view. Let's take a moment to breathe. Hope you all have an awesome day today, and yeah, I'm having so much fun. So incredibly helpful. Appreciate you, Melanie. Thanks for hanging with me. And if anybody else wants their portfolio reviewed like that, make sure to send me your link and DM, okay? And I'll give you a look. Yo, Chris, you're in Miami. I'm in Tampa, so not too far. It's also brutally hot right now. It's like so humid as fuck. It feels like a swamp outside. So, but yeah. All right, everybody, we are going around. I'm just like, yeah. Can I catch up on some questions? Anybody got anything that they want me to discuss before we jump into the next thing? So by the way, this is kind of like my live show that I'm trying to start with. I just started it up this like today is my first like real formal show. And basically every day I want to try to do about an hour live, and I want to try to stick with a formula. And that formula is going to be hold on, let me pull up the formula. Here we go. Switching back, okay. Doom. TikTok, got it. Okay, switching back. All right. Cool. Okay. So yeah, this is like the kind of the model that I'm going to try to go for is talk about a little bit of a design news thing, do a portfolio review, do a roundup of product hunts, and honestly, today's is really dope. So stick around for just a second while I collect my vibes for a sec. But basically, Career Vault and Bulk Apply were both product hunts. Now, they didn't win yesterday, but they were high up on the list, and I think that they're pretty interesting for some remote jobs, some application stuff. So if you're trying to get a job, check it out. But first, go do all the stuff that I was just telling Melanie to do, okay? Greens from Colombia. Hey, hola, how you doing? How can you get a one-on-one, Naomi? I don't do those right now. For me, to be honest with you, I want to offer that. I want to give everybody that amount of value. I just don't have the time. And so I'm kind of like, like this is gonna sound super corny, super just super intense, but like time is money for me right now, and I'm like so tight on it that I would have to charge for that. And I just also like I don't want to charge for that right now. I'm not at a place where I'm like, pay me $100 and we'll have a 30-minute chat. Like, I don't know. I'm just not really in that set right now. So, just stay tuned. Keep hanging with me. We might start doing some one-on-ones here soon. But where else is the live happening? I'm streaming over on YouTube, over on TikTok as well, and Instagram. And so basically, yeah, it is possible to view it. So go check out my YouTube because yeah, you can catch up on the whole stream that's been happening. So yeah. Person's course the other day. Are you planning on releasing more content for soon? Yes. It depends on which course you're talking about, but both courses are going to be getting an update soon. Again, I'm super strapped for time right now, but what I want to do is I want to make a UI course. I want to do some more modules around website as well. And then for the Figma course, I want to add a little bit more beginner-friendly stuff and also more component stuff and get into design systems and all that because that's honestly a huge deal. And getting some people following me over on TikTok. Appreciate you, Clifford, and anybody else who I miss over on Instagram. If you're following me too, appreciate you as well. You want to do the Figma one? Hell yeah. Go for it. Right now, there is actually a sale on my courses for 20% off or 25% off. So go check those out. Design system course. I might go do a design system course. I just don't know if I can compete with Dan Mall, really. Like, Dan Mall is the fucking guy. Like, anything that I'm talking about is going to be pretty much like what I learned from Dan Mall, and then like what I my little take on it after having done some design system stuff. But whatever I've learned on my own, Dan Mall can probably teach you better. So in terms of design systems. So shout out to that dude because legit legend for me in so many ways. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me just like, I'm taking a drink of water, and then we will get into the product hunt roundup. Okay. Any live classes? No, I don't have a live cohort right now. I might do that eventually. Again, I just don't have the processes right now. So essentially, like I'm a creator, right? I talk about design and all that. However, I also do all of my editing. Literally every content that you see from me, I do it. And so I'm also designing an app. I'm also live here trying to do this every day. And I'm also like doing a million other things for clients as well. And so my time's just so tight. And so right now I'm like really gearing up to try to get an editor together. And then once I get that, my whole world will open up again. Or not again, but just like open up some more. And I can offer more things like live cohort classes and stuff like that. Yeah. So by the way, okay, before we go into the next step, over on TikTok, just got it from Low Key. If anybody wants to send me your portfolio, I'm just gonna kind of choose one at random every day, and be doing this every day. So stay tuned. You just have to show up every day and watch me talk about portfolios and other things. But right now, we are going to dive into the product hunt review roundup. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with product hunts, but it is awesome. Awesome. Okay, there you go. Managing 2 streams at once is a lot. Okay, but okay. Let's go into product hunt. So what is product hunt? Well, just wanted to call that out really quickly. Product hunt is basically this place where people go and post portfolios, or sorry, not portfolios, but people go and post products that are just launching, and then me as a user of Product Hunt can go upvote the ones that I like. You can also comment and stuff, and often there's like people, the founders themselves are in here. Yeah, Maker. The founders themselves are in there talking about the product that they're launching and stuff. So you can see some roundup. You can go visit the website and all that. So like that is Product Hunt in a nutshell. That's actually how I launched my first product when I was in college. And I got on. We were number 2 on Product Hunt, and because of that, we got on the front page of Yahoo the next day. Got over 25,000 users. It was a fucking most amazing moment of my life at the time. And so Product Hunt changes lives, but also Product Hunt is really a dope space for just like talking about products and things like that. And so 2 products that I wanted to highlight that were pretty big yesterday. And so kind of that's what I'm going to be trying to do is talk about the products that happened yesterday. So one is Career Vault. So let's go over there. Basically, this is a spot where you can try to apply for remote jobs specifically. And so, this actually like hits really well home with the stuff that y'all are doing is trying to find jobs, applying everywhere and all of that. And so, thought it was pretty interesting to be able to see that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, like, you can see the responsibilities, like, let's call a spade here. You can't really reinvent the job posting board, but you can look at a new platform that has people hiring, right? And so that's pretty important. And so land remote jobs, pretty cool. Let's see, design jobs. Let's see what we got in here. Resume pool, graphic design. Okay, well, look at that. 3 hours ago, 10 hours ago. Hell yeah. Yo, so these are some fresh jobs, okay? So I just want to call out that probably all of you right now, or anybody who's actually looking for a job is probably running right now to go check this site out. But good luck on applying over there. So pretty cool. And another one is bulk apply. Apply to hundreds of jobs in a single click. Like, I don't know if I like this very much, but yeah. So they let's see. It's a Chrome extension that transforms job searching after facing tough times, including 6 months of homeless. Wow, Theo had a tough time, but made it to the job. The extension lets you apply to hundreds of jobs in a single click. If this finds a market fit, we'll continue to innovate. That's cool. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't, like, again, I'm kind of, like, indifferent to this because like spray and pray is also why people are not getting a fair look, right? Like everybody is applying to everything so much that like, and using AI to do it, where we're kind of like in a spot where because of that, the people who are reviewing the jobs are also using AI to filter stuff, and it's like really dehumanizing so many things. And I think it starts with stuff like this, where it's like, yeah, okay, like that's a cool idea in theory, is go apply to 1,000 jobs in a single, or 100 jobs in a single click. But what happens when like 100,000 people are clicking on this button every day, right? And I think that's like the job market is broken because like of AI, and we've got to find a way to fix it. I don't know how we're going to be able to fix it, really, right? And so I'm going to go on a little rant here and just say, like, how do we do this, guys? We like, all of you are probably looking for a job right now, and all of you have probably applied to hundreds of jobs, or lots of jobs at least, right? And for me, I feel like the jobs that I've landed were 100% because of my personal touch, right? Every job that I applied to, I went and found the hiring manager on LinkedIn. I went and hit them with my cover letter or message kind of vibe, and that was the real reason why I got my last job, right? And also why I got like 10 interviews in that job hunt, right? Now I did do it back in 2022, so shit's changed since then, but it was the end of 2022, so it wasn't too long ago that this happened. But and essentially what I did was I went and found the person. And often I went and scheduled the interview not from the application spot, but through LinkedIn, because I found the right person. We DM'd, like we chatted with each other, and that was how we set up the interview, right? And so, like, how can we get that human touch while doing it at scale? I don't know if it's possible. And so, like, I wanted to highlight that because it was an interesting thing called bulk apply. But also, I'll say I don't think I like it. It's done. It's over. Bulk apply. I'm sorry, but please don't exist soon. So, yeah. But all right. I mean, yeah, that was an interesting little hangout sesh there. I think that for the product hunt stuff, I might keep doing that. What did you guys think about that segment? Would you like me to go more in depth on stuff about product hunt? Would like any other stuff that you want me to talk about or add as segments to this show? Because I'm like just starting this out, and it's still early days, but honestly, I had a hell of a time just now. So I'm a new follower. How often are you live? I really enjoy this. Oh, like honestly, that's a perfect segue. Thank you so much, Daprinda Mama. Sorry, I'm gonna say that one more time. No, I'm not going to say that, but appreciate you for saying that. And yeah, basically, I just started doing this yesterday, these lives, and today is the first time that I actually like did a formatted show like this, and I loved it. I think I'm going to do the same model every day. So I started a little bit late today. I started at 1:30 Eastern time. I'm going to probably start closer to noon Eastern time every weekday, Monday through Friday. So, but also, how does that time work for you guys? So, like, would you prefer me to do a different time on this live show? Like, the cool thing too is all of this is going to be streamed on YouTube as well. So you're going to be able to go like rewatch stuff if you want. But yeah, I think that. Yeah, you want me to talk about design systems? Okay. Over on Instagram, Barry Des asked me to talk about design systems. So I could just add a segment of design systems. We can just dive into how design systems work. That might be cool. Is do like a live tutorial session sometimes. Hell yeah. Should I do a live design tutorial instead of the product hunt segment? I could probably go off on some tutorials, you know? How to find clients. We could talk. Yeah, I think that's a better angle. Is drop the product hunt stuff and do more focus around like live tutorial stuff. So hell yeah. Okay, so on the tutorial stuff, would you prefer design stuff? Would you prefer Figma stuff? Would you prefer client stuff? Maybe I'll just go into. Maybe it's just new every day. That would probably be fun. Yes, and I'm going to definitely be doing portfolio reviews. If you didn't see it earlier, I did a whole segment on it. So definitely go check out over on YouTube if you missed it, because talked a lot about Melanie's portfolio. Honestly, Melanie's super close. I would say, yeah, like if she tightens it up a little bit, tighten up those case studies a little bit. And also too, one thing that I wanted to call out, this kind of connects to finding clients, is any client work that you're sharing on your portfolio, like, it doesn't have to be the live end result, right? Like, and not many people say this because it's kind of like one of those unspoken things, but for real, you do not need to show the end result. Nobody is going to click that link. And if they do, they might be like, the client must have fucked it up later. You know what I mean? Because clients do, especially on websites. And so for me, like, any decision that like the client made that's sort of like, hey, make the logo bigger, and you were like, no, fuck that, but you had to do it anyways, undo those changes, right? And put that in the case study. And I think too, the other side is like, make your portfolio filled with whatever you want to show, right? It doesn't have to be actual stuff that saw the light of day. In fact, when I first hired somebody back in August, I think it was August, I was trying to hire this person who they had two case studies, and their main case study that they presented to me was a fake project, right? And I still tried to hire them, and it didn't work out because they got an offer for more money than we could do. And so it's just like, it just shows, I knew it was a fake project, but again, when I'm hiring you as a hiring manager, I'm not trying, and especially clients, I'm not looking for a person who can like come in and have live projects under their belt, and I know that translates into real stuff and only show me real stuff. No, what I want to see is your potential, right? Like, I say this all the time, but like, if you're a tattoo artist and somebody came in and said like, put something on my arm, whatever you want to do, right? What would you do, right? Like, if you could blank slate make the coolest, most amazing looking app or website that you could imagine, what would that look like? Put that on your books, because that's the stuff that makes me as a hiring manager move, right? And now, obviously, if it's a fake project, I'm gonna be like, when I bring you on the interview, I'm gonna try to trip you up to see like how that fake project came to life, right? And if the process that you have can actually translate into a real process of design that I'm working on right now, right? But that's also easy to see if you've got a process. And so, last thing that I'll talk about here is I got two courses, and one of them is my UI course, and I go in depth in a lot of this stuff. And so what's cool is today and for the next week and a half, there is a 25% off sale. So go buy that course and get some juice from all that, because like, really, like, you can build a design process that allows you to show up every day and kill it. Even if you're having a horrible day, you can still show up when you're tight on deadlines. You don't need to be super inspired and vibe in that day to be able to crush it. And that's the thing that really you need to build. And that's also the thing that 100%, every interview I got on is 100% to find that, whether that person has it or not, has that process or not. And so, yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot of chat. That was a lot of chatting. And hoping that you all have a great day. Come back tomorrow for some more vibes. I'll be live again tomorrow at noon Eastern time is my plan, ish, right? I'm still getting going. It might happen. It might not happen every day. But yeah, hope you have an awesome day. Appreciate you all. And that's a wrap. That's all. Okay.